In the headlines, villagers in Kafing Abbas hopeful Kolmani oil drilling will bring blessings to the community. Police rescue 76 travelers from bandits on Zaria-Funtua Highway. Ekiti Assembly gets first female speaker. Away from Nigeria, death toll from quake in Indonesia rises to 56 as rescue operation continues. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. And now the details. Kolmani village will be the center of attraction as oil exploration is set to commence in the area. There is tight security at the Kolmani oil field ahead of the President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the site on Tuesday. Media reports suggest that the president will supervise the first ever oil drilling exercise in the border community of Kolmani, located between Bauchi and Gombe State. Ibrahim Ismail visits the oil field and now reports.
Kolmani oil field, which is located in the northeast in Kolmani between Gombe and Bauchi states. And it is expected that with the drilling exercise of oil within this region between Gombe and Bauchi, these two states are expected to join oil producing states in the country. And it is expected that it will boost their revenue generation.
During Trust TV's visit to the Kolmani oil field, workers could be seen completing some tasks amid heavy security presence. The Kolmani oil exploration exercise was launched by the NNPC in 2016, and a huge commercial quantity of oil was discovered here at Kolmani, a village located between Bauchi and Gombe states. Garin Kafing Abbas, Al-Kaleri local government area of Bauchi state, is located closer to the Kolmani oil field. The villagers said they live here for more than 2 centuries. They said there was an attempt to launch oil exploration exercise over 20 years ago by a past administration. 23 years ago, they came and commenced oil exploration. They stopped. We don't know what happened. It was during Obasanjo's tenure. They constructed a road purposely to move to the site. With the recent announcement of drilling of the Kolmani OPLs 809 and 810, residents are hopeful that the discovery will bring countless blessings to their communities. We need the development of our area. We need school, road, and hospital for the benefit of the people. They should build school and deploy teachers. Our children should be employed by the oil company. Efforts to speak to government representatives were not successful, as those approached said they were not ready for comments. If the drilling exercise at the Kolmani OPLs 809 and 810 became reality, this feat will be recorded as one of the major milestones of the Buhari administration in the northeast in particular and the north in general. Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
Meanwhile, Nigeria now ranks 7th on Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries crude oil production list, according to the organization's monthly oil market report for November, which examined oil production performance in October. Nigeria's output was around 1 million barrels per day in October, ranking 7th after Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Iraq, Angola, and Algeria. The likes of Gabon, Libya, and Iran did not produce a barrel in the month. Nigeria previously ranked 5th, with countries such as Angola and Algeria behind it in terms of crude oil production. And on security matters, the police in Kaduna State say that prompt police and military responses has foiled an attempt to kidnap 76 victims along Funtua Zaria Road. The command spokesman, Muhammad Jalige, said in a statement issued on Monday in Kaduna that the incident occurred around 11 p.m. on Friday. He said that the kidnap attempt was made by a large number of bandits wielding sophisticated weapons who blocked a section of Funtua Zaria Road at Gulbala Giwa local government area. Jalige, however, said that a combined team of police and military mobilized to the location and thwarted the intention of the gunmen who had already headed some passengers into the bush. He said preliminary investigation revealed that the victims were passengers on a truck traveling from Sabon Birni local government area of Sokoto State to different destinations when they were abducted. The PPRO assured that interagency coordination and collaboration will be strengthened to insulate the public space from enemies of the country. A chief magistrate court in Mina, Niger State, has sentenced Umar Magaji and Abdullahi Muhammad to 2 years imprisonment for cattle rustling. The convicts were arraigned for criminal conspiracy and theft contrary to sections 97 and 287 of the Penal Code law. The police prosecutor, Inspector Bello Mohammed, had earlier told the court that sometime in September, one Muhammad Husani and 5 others reported to the police that some thieves invaded a Fulani village in Paikoro local government area of the state and stole 12 of their cows and 3.3 million naira. Inspector Bello said that the convicts had confessed to the crime during police investigation. Delivering the judgment, the Chief Magistrate, Adamu Abubakar, sentenced them to 2 years imprisonment and option of 70,000 naira each for the offense of conspiracy, while also sentenced them to another 2 years and option of 70,000 naira for offense of theft. He said that the prison terms are to run concurrently. And on political matters, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has pledged to provide logistics support for the campaigns of the presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, within the state. Wike said this on Monday when the NNPP candidate inaugurated the Mbuktanwo internal roads in the Emohua local government area of Rivers State. Wike described Kwankwaso as a man of integrity who meant well for Nigeria. He said Kano is very important for victory of the PDP in the 2023 presidential election next February, but all his entreaties to PDP stalwarts not to let Kwankwaso go proved abortive. The Rivers State Governor said that he persuaded Kwankwaso not to dump the PDP earlier in March, but enemies within the party pushed him out. Wike said that the former governor of Kano State has what is required to put Nigeria together, saying it is unfortunate that they are no longer in the same party. He told the NNPP candidate to remember Rivers people if he wins, saying that the Integrity Group will continue to support whatever is right and help the country. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Muslim Ummah of southwest Nigeria has drummed support for the aspiration of presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The group disclosed this during its 7th General Assembly held at the Islamic Center, University of Ibadan Central Mosque. Ekiti State Governor Abiodun Oyebanji, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Habibat Odubiaro, asked Muslims, especially women, to participate actively in the electoral process, noting that greater participation of women in politics will give them greater access to positively impact the society. Earlier, the president of Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria, Rasaki Oladejo, said that the body is obliged to support the aspiration of presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the only candidate from southern Nigeria who is a Muslim and eminently qualified to address the challenges of the country. He expressed the readiness to carry out strong sensitization of members within its catchment areas to not only collect their PVCs, but to also participate overwhelmingly in the electoral process.
I will enjoy Muslims to join politics, Muslim women to join politics. You know, some people will be saying politics is this, politics is that, but if you are not there, you cannot join them and you cannot even correct them. So we can only correct them if we are among them. So I can only enjoy my Muslim sisters to join us, to be there, so that we can also participate in the development of our states and the Nigeria in general.
The role of Muswin is actually to sensitize all Muslims on the necessity to get involved in the elections. First, to register as voters and collect their voters' card. Then be prepared to vote during the elections.
Ekiti State House of Assembly has impeached the Speaker, Boyega Aribisoga, and suspended him indefinitely. 17 out of the 25 lawmakers elected Olubumi Adelugba as the new Speaker of the House. The leadership of the Assembly has been in crisis since the death of former Speaker Fumini Afuye, who died at the Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital on October 19 after suffering cardiac arrest. Ekiti State Assembly complex had been sealed as members split into opposing groups over the position of the Speaker. Aribisoga, who is the representative of Ikole 1 constituency in the Assembly and a two-term lawmaker, emerged Speaker a month after Afuye's death. Prior to his removal on Monday, Aribisoga had accused the immediate past governor, Kayode Fayemi, of working with members of the state legislature to impeach him. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. 10 people confirmed dead in Guarazo Dam incident. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Villagers in Kafing Abbas hopeful Kolbani oil drilling will bring blessings to the community. Police rescue 76 travelers from bandits on Zaria-Funtua Highway. Elsewhere, fire has razed a building housing the theatre and dental sections of Batagarawa Comprehensive Health Center in Katsina State, destroying equipment and properties worth hundreds of millions of naira. X-ray machines, theatre and dental equipment, as well as other valuables, were destroyed during the fire incident. Abdullahi Amudi has more.
Eyewitness account revealed that electrical faults ignited the fire inside the building. They say smoke billowed from the building. Immediately power was restored after several hours without electricity. Frequent power outages have been a source of fire outbreaks in Katsina State in recent times.
We try our own possible best to see that we rescue some of these important equipment here. If you can check my hand, you can see a sign of burn here in the process of rescuing. Then later on, we notify the department. Department notify the chairman, then CDC, then later on they inform the state fire service. Almost about 3 vehicles were here. And those 3 vehicles, they cannot be able to quench the fire immediately.
The hospital management, however, appreciates the efforts of the Katsina State Fire Service Department and Samaritans who contributed to put out the fire. These efforts assisted greatly in saving some vital hospital equipment from destruction during the fire outbreak, which lasted for several hours.
Only few items, especially our X-ray machine, general X-ray machine, and we have dental X-ray machine. All of them, they have burnt completely. Then our theater equipment here inside the store, those equipment that are inside the store, still they were all burnt. The only little we can be able to rescue, they are there inside the laboratory. And we thank God there is no any life is missing here.
Residents want relevant stakeholders to sensitize the public on proper handling of fire and switching off of all electrical appliances after use to prevent fire outbreak, especially now that Harmattan season sets in northern Nigeria. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
10 people have been confirmed dead after a Volkswagen vehicle crashed into a dam in Gwarzo local government area of Kano State. Eyewitnesses told Trust TV that the vehicle was carrying 16 passengers from Kano to Kangara in Katsina State when it fell into the water. Correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the 6 surviving victims have been treated and discharged from the hospital.
Zayan Rabiu is a local fisherman in Gwarzo local government area of Kano State. He was here at the time of the crash. He and other fishermen participated in the rescue operation, which led to the recovery of 10 people from the dam.
In the night, myself, Noura, and other fishermen recovered 7 bodies. The following day, with the help of Noura and Buhari, we recovered the remaining 3 people and many other goods which we handed over to the police.
According to these eyewitnesses, the vehicle with no registration number was carrying 16 persons before it hit another vehicle that was parked by the roadside and then lost control into the dam.
Having this problem every year. I am not a fisherman, honestly, but we do come here to help them whenever it happens. And also, if you inform them on time, they can recover the victims alive. We are calling on government to help us in securing this place with barricade. And more disturbing is the fact that any time it happened, we took our time to rescue the victims, only for the fire service to claim the credit.
Meanwhile, the Kano State Fire Service confirmed that with the help of local fishermen, 10 bodies were recovered from the dam and that 6 others have been treated and discharged from the hospital.
A motor Golf with out registration number fell inside a party dam. After that, our men and other fishers, local fishers, they have done all their best and tried to rescue the people inside the Gulf. So on that very day, they have successfully rescued 12 people. Out of them, 3 are alive, 12 unconscious, 9 unconscious.
However, residents in this part of Gwarzo are calling on government to set up a barricade that can prevent vehicles from falling into the water in time of emergency like this. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The United Kingdom government has advised the Nigerian government to improve the standards of its products to enable the country export 99% of its goods to the UK tariff-free by 2023. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Leng, gave the advice when she appeared on Forum, the news agency of Nigeria flagship interview program in Abuja. Leng said that producing standard products for export will enable Nigeria to benefit from the UK's new trade scheme in 2023, which will enable the country balance its trade with the UK, where Nigeria is at deficit. She, however, noted that as a strategic partner of Nigeria, the UK government was also supporting Nigeria to meet the product's standards for export.
Well, there's a number of things that need to happen. So I think in order to export successfully, on our side, what we need to do to make it as open as possible, and we are a country, particularly post-Brexit, we want to ensure that access to our market is very open. And that's why we're about to introduce the Developing Country Trading Scheme, which will apply to Nigeria. It'll come in early 2023. And it means for Nigeria, 99% of your exports to the UK will be completely tariff-free. So no trade barriers. So if you're an exporter, and I think I've got an example, say if you're a cocoa butter exporter, for example, in the old world, you'd have had to pay £180,000 in tariffs. Now that will be gone. So that we think will help. But there are also what we call non-tariff barriers, and this is where Nigeria does need to up the game a little bit. So that means reaching product standards, sanitary and phytosanitary standards, as they're sometimes called if you're exporting agricultural products. And we have quite strict rules to ensure, you know, that animals and plants are meeting these high standards to prevent, you know, any pandemics spreading and so on. So we're also supporting Nigeria to be able to meet those product standards. So that's the second thing Nigeria needs to do. Then I think it's the third thing is your policy environment. To be honest, it's quite hard if you're trying to do business in Nigeria. Doing a business here is hard work.
We'll now take a short break. The news update continues after the break. Join us again.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back from that break. Now, away from Nigeria, a shallow 5.6 magnitude earthquake killed at least 56 people and injured hundreds when it damaged buildings and triggered landslides on Indonesia's main island of Java on Monday, officials said. Doctors treated patients outdoors after the quake, which was felt as far away as the capital, Jakarta, left hospitals without power for several hours. Power had been partially restored by the evening without specifying if through a generator or a connection to a power grid. The afternoon quake was centered in the Cianjur region of West Java, according to the United States Geological Survey, with local authorities saying that 56 people had been killed and over 700 wounded. The majority of the deaths were counted in one hospital. Head of Jiangsu's local administration, Herman Suherman, said earlier, with most of the victims killed in the ruins of the collapsed buildings. In sports news, England's World Cup campaign opened in thoroughly convincing fashion as they outclassed Iran in Doha. The game was played out against the backdrop of more off-field controversy in Qatar after England were forced to ditch plans to wear the One Love armband, promoting diversity and inclusivity under threat from FIFA of players being cautioned should they carry out the gesture of support. Gareth Southgate's side strolled to victory with Iran's hopeless plight made worse by the early loss of goalkeeper Alireza Biranvand to concussion after a clash of heads with a teammate. The game ended 6-2. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching.